Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a fascinating and often spirited debate, the battle for the title of the oldest language in the world. Across the globe, every culture seems to have its contender for the title of the oldest language. In India, this debate is especially vibrant. On one side, we have the proponents of Sanskrit, the ancient language of the Vedas, and the classical texts of Hindu philosophy. Many North Indians proudly champion Sanskrit, citing its rich literary and religious heritage as evidence of its antiquity. On the other side, we have the Tamilians, who ardently argue that Tamil is the oldest language. Tamil, with its ancient literary tradition and deep-rooted cultural significance in South India, is often described as one of the oldest and a language that has influenced other languages and cultures. Some South Indians even go as far as to claim that Tamil is the mother of all languages. The debates can get quite heated, with both sides presenting compelling arguments and historical evidence to support their claims. So, what's the truth behind these claims? Are we witnessing a genuine contest between ancient languages, or is it more about cultural pride and historical identity? Join us as we explore the rich histories, the linguistic features, and the ongoing discussions that surround this intriguing debate.
A language's origins are tricky to pinpoint before written records, as it's often speculative. That's why some linguists argue that the designation of the oldest language should belong to one with a well-established written record. First up, we have Sanskrit, a classical language of the Indo-European family. Sanskrit is considered one of the oldest languages still in use today, though its modern use is largely limited to scholarly, liturgical, and classical contexts rather than daily communication. The oldest written record of Sanskrit is found in the Hathibada Gosundi inscriptions, dating back to around 1 BCE. Scholars often date the first written work in Sanskrit, the Rig Veda, to around 500 BCE. However, traditional Hindu belief claims it was passed down orally for about 1,000 years before being written, suggesting an earlier date of 1500 to 1200 BCE. The Indus Valley Civilization, which ended around 1750 BCE, spoke a completely different language, unrelated to Sanskrit. Thus, the most confident timeline for the earliest use of Sanskrit is between 1750 and 1 BCE.
Next, we have Tamil, a classical language of the Dravidian family. Unlike Sanskrit, Tamil is one of the few ancient languages still actively spoken today, with around 90 million speakers. The earliest written records of Tamil were discovered on earthenware urns at Adichanallur, which have been carbon dated to between 905 BCE and 696 BCE. While many Tamilians hold that Tolkappiyam, an ancient Tamil text that mentions Hindu deities, dates as far back as 5000 BCE, most Indian scholars place its origins no earlier than 300 BCE. Non-Indian scholars generally date it between 500 CE and 800 CE. Therefore, the most reliable time frame for the earliest use of Tamil is between 905 BCE and 696 BCE. While North Indians and South Indians are debating whether Sanskrit or Tamil holds the title of the oldest language, they often overlook the rich linguistic history found in other parts of the world. Let me burst this bubble by introducing languages that are either from the same era or even older. Persian, another ancient language from the Indo-European family, is significant with approximately 130 million speakers worldwide. The oldest written Persian inscription, the Behistun inscription, is found at Mount Behistun in Kermanshah, Iran, and dates back to 500 BCE. Latin, also from the Indo-European family and akin to Sanskrit in being no longer actively spoken, has its earliest written record in the Duenos inscription, discovered in Rome, Italy. This inscription dates from 700 to 500 BCE. Greek, another major Indo-European language spoken by around 14 million people, has its earliest written record in the Dipylon inscription, found in Athens, Greece, and dating to 750 BCE. In the Middle East, Aramaic, a Semitic language from the Afro-Asiatic family, is spoken by around 1 million people today. The earliest known written record of Aramaic is the Sapphire Steles near Aleppo, Syria, which dates back to 800 BCE. We also have Arabic and Hebrew, both Semitic languages from the Afro-Asiatic family. Arabic, with over 400 million speakers today, has its oldest written record in an inscription from Bayir, Jordan, dating back to 1000 BCE. Hebrew, spoken by 9 million people today, was dormant for nearly 1800 years until its revival in the 19th century. Its oldest written record is the Khirbet Keyyafa Ostrakhan inscription, also from around 1000 BCE. Moving on, we encounter Chinese, a classical language from the Sino-Tibetan family. As the most spoken ancient language today, Chinese has a rich heritage with over 1 billion speakers. The oldest written records of Chinese are found on oracle bones from around 1200 BCE during the Shang dynasty. Akkadian, another Semitic language, was used in ancient Mesopotamia. The earliest written record of Akkadian is the Meskiagnun Gansaman Bowl, dating to around 2500 BCE. When it comes to Egyptian, the oldest written records of hieroglyphs come from Naqada II pottery, dating between 3500 and 3200 BCE. Egyptian holds the record for the longest attested written history of any language, spanning over 4,000 years. Lastly, Sumerian, another ancient language from Mesopotamia, is renowned for its early writing system known as cuneiform. Sumerian boasts the earliest written records, dating back to the 4th millennium BCE. In summary, Sumerian, Akkadian, and Egyptian emerge as some of the oldest languages with well-documented written records. Though all three are extinct today, their legacies profoundly enrich our understanding of early human civilization. When it comes to languages still spoken today, Chinese, Arabic, and Hebrew are notable contenders. Each of these languages boasts a rich history, with written records dating back to around 1 millennium BCE.